Hello again. I recently posted a beginner's video on the YouTube channel, which was hopefully to encourage people that have just started or have never done yoga to try some of the postures and then, build on that knowledge. So obviously I teach flow yoga, power yoga, vinyasa yoga, whatever you want to call it, whatever day of the week it is, but it's flowing yoga, moving yoga. It's nice to string the postures together in a sequence of movements because it's a mindful activity then, and you can then start to experiment with your own stuff. So I think moving on from the beginner's yoga video, I'm going to do a very accessible, if you like, flow class for anybody that is interested to develop a flow and get an understanding of where they're going. So it's going to be quite repetitive, and hopefully that's going to be of some use, some interest. So we're going to start straight away, not rambling on. So come into a tabletop position on your all fours. Cat-cow is the first thing we do. And this is just really moving the spine nice and slowly. And I like to start all of my public classes this way if I can. Without any form of apology for a repetition, because it's such a good movement for your spine. So you'll see my spine is going down to the floor and then it's rounding. As you breathe in, you drop your tummy down, drop the spine down, lift the head slightly, point the bum up slightly. As you breathe out around the spine, drop your head. I cover this off in most of my videos. So you probably no doubt if you've seen any other videos, you've seen this movement before. Nice way to start mobilizing the spine and feel how you are in your spine. Okay, just check out the spine itself. Spine's like a chain, a bike chain, bicycle chain. You can get some rusty, stiff parts of that bike chain, particularly around the lower back on your spine, which stiffen up. This is a really nice way to loosen off. Okay, and then we'll go into, from here, we're going to go into a child pose. So take the hands to the top corners of the mat, sit the hips back, and just find some release here. Now you can take your hands wider. You can experiment here. You can maybe take your backside hands on the mat, externally rotate your shoulders and see what difference that makes. Or you can lift your wrists up, put your fingertips down on the floor. Just really, again, lengthen the spine, just moving the joints, come back up to tabletop. And a really nice movement I like with the breath is balancing cat. So from a tabletop position, shoulders on top of wrists, knees are under hips, look down at the floor. As you breathe in, float the right arm up to the side of the head. At the same time, float the left foot up. Now, the first time you do this, you might find it a little bit wobbly. And then as you come down to the floor, go onto the other side. So nice and slow with the breath, breathing in, lengthening through the body, breathing out, lowering down to the floor. And the technique for vinyasa yoga, movement to breath. So the breath starts from the movement, and try to allow the movement to happen all the way through the breath cycle, not trying to rush it, not trying to find a quick move to the physical position, but instead use your breath to regulate the movement. It takes a degree of concentration, a degree of focus, which is what we're all about. And I really like the way the body opens up like this on the breath in, creating space in the ribs, in the lungs to inhale. And when you drop down, close up, you exhale. So it's like as though the body's moving the body, the movement goes with the breath. Body actually helps with the breath. Okay, do that a few times. And we're going to build this up. Okay, so now we're going to come to downward dog. So take your hands slightly further forward. With downward dog, you don't have to have your fingers pointed forwards. Despite what a lot of teachers say, a lot of books say, you can actually turn your hands out. It's a personal thing, so experiment. But tuck your toes in, send your hips backwards a little bit, push into the mat, and then straighten out your legs, lift your hips high, heels down. Try to get your sit bones to go backward, feel tension in the back of your hamstrings, and then maybe move the hands around just to see what's more comfortable for you. We're looking for good grounding on the floor with the hands. Okay, so you can get a real good feeling of presence, of pressure onto the mat, really good stability foundation. Okay, our next vinyasa flow is this one. As we inhale, we're going to look up between the hands and bring the shoulders forwards into a high press up plank position. So your shoulders come on top of your wrists. As you exhale, onto your knees, tops of the feet on the mat, lower your chest and chin to the floor. Elbows tuck in. As you breathe in, pull back on the palms of the hands as the chest shifts forwards and peel away from the mat. Not really hinging in the lower back, but going for a bit of a lengthy, lengthening lift of the chest, lengthening through the spine. Looking straight down in front if you're not craning the neck up here. And then breathe out, come back to the floor. Breath in, up onto your knees, tuck your toes in, sit your hips back, and breath out into downward dog. So we'll do that with a breath. Breath in, nice and slow, shoulders, plank, shoulders on top of wrists. When you come to the end of the inhale, exhale onto your knees, lower your chest onto the floor, tops of the feet on the floor. You come to the end of the exhale, inhale, draw the chest forwards and up, and breath out to the floor. Breath in, up onto your knees, tuck your toes in, sending your hips back, breath out into downward dog. Look up between the hands now, bend the knees on your toes, walking to the top of the mat. Okay, I'm going to dangle here for a couple of breaths. Just pull the belly button in, let the arms dangle, soften the shoulders, soften the neck, let the head drop down, and really feel that release in the upper shoulders. And then with your belly button pulled into your spine to support your lumbar spine, slowly come to an upright position. As you come upright, roll your shoulders back. Inhale, take the hands up. Exhale, side bend. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, side bend. Inhale, the hands up. Draw, press into your right foot. Exhale, draw that left knee up. Inhale, float down. Okay, next inhale, arms go up. Exhale, draw the right knee up. And release to the floor. Okay, let's crack on then. So we're going to do a couple of sun salutations from the top of your mat into mountain pose, feet are hip width apart, broaden through your toes. Feel the pressure through the knuckles of the bigs and the little toes and the heels. Nice and big lift through the crown of the head. Inhale, lift up, bend the knees. As you breathe out to the floor. Hands come down on your shins as you bend forwards. Breathe into a half lift as you straighten your legs and lift your chest and look forwards. Breathe out, bend your knees, hands to the floor. Breathe in as you walk the feet back to the back of the mat and bring the shoulders on top of the wrists. At the end of the inhale, your shoulders are on top of the wrists. So you exhale to the floor, knees, chest, chin. You keep your elbows tucked in and breathe in, pull back on the hands, peeling the chest away into cobra, and you breathe out to the floor. Breathe in up onto your knees, tucking your toes in, sending your hips back, and breathe out, lifting the hips high, sending the heels down, downward dog. Bending your knees, look up between the hands. As you breathe in and out, maybe as you come to the top of the mat, come to a Bentley forward bend, and then allow the arms to dangle. Slow exhale here as you release. Pull your belly button in as you slowly come upright. You can inhale the hands up nice and high. You can bend your knees, you can float your hands down towards the floor, and they come to land on your shins. You breathe into a half lift, straighten the legs, lifting the chest up, looking forwards. You bend the knees, you breathe out to the floor. Hands come down onto the floor. You take a big breath in and bring the shoulders on top of the wrists at the end of that breath in. And you breathe out to the floor. Elbows tuck into the sides of the ribs, tops of the feet on the mat. Breath in as you pull the body forwards and through and up and away from the mat. Breathe out to the floor. Breathe in up onto your knees. Tuck your toes in, set the hips back. Breath out into a downward dog. Okay. Breath in, lift the left leg as high as you can. Breath out, that leg comes to the floor. Breath into the right leg up as high as you can. Breathing it in, lifting it up, and breathe it out to the floor. Look up between the hands, bend your knees, a slow walk to the top of the mat. As you come to the top of the mat at the end of the breath in, breathe out, release, drop, dangle. Pull your belly button in, slowly come up, slowly breathing in as the arms float all the way up. Breathe out, down. Breathe in, arms up, and a side bend on the exhale. Breathe in, lift up, a side bend on the other side. Next breath in, we're going to lift the arms up, but we're going to exhale. We're going to twist to our right, take the left arm at shoulder height in front of us and the right hand behind for a twist through the spine. Breathe in, turn to the front, And breathe out, turn to the left. Left arm behind, right hand in front. Breathe in, lift the arms up, bend the knees, breathe out to the floor. Hands onto your shins. Breath in, lift the chest, straighten the legs. Breathe out, bend the knees, hands to the floor. Breathe into plank as you come all the way into a high press up plank position, shoulders on top of your wrists. Breathe out onto your knees. Okay, breath in, right arm up, left leg goes up. Breath out, elbow to knee, knee to elbow. Breathe in, lengthen, extend. Breathe out, fold in. Breathe in, lengthen, extend, and now we go static and still for a couple of breaths, looking down at the floor, keeping the breath nice and steady. And if you pay close attention to your breath, it takes your mind off the effort needed to hold this posture. Okay, last breath in here on the exhale, come to the floor. Breathe here as you rotate your pelvis around. And then go the other way. Still nice, slow, shallow breath. And you come to a nice, stationary, still position. When you're ready to breathe in, float the left arm up as the right leg goes back. And breathe out, knee to elbow, elbow to knee. Breath in, lengthen, extend. Breath out, close in and fold in. Breath in, lengthen and extend. And breath out. Next breath in, lengthen, extend, and we go static for a few breaths. Feeling the presence of the hand and knee on the floor. Feeling the stability or any wobbling, it's okay. But keeping the breath nice and slow. And release to the floor. Sit the hips back as you breathe out. And breath in, come back up to tabletop. Breath out, back onto your heels. Breath into tabletop. And breath out onto your heels. This breath in, come forwards. And then when you're ready to breathe out, weight goes into the hands, lower the tummy down, pull the belly button in, lift the head up. And then breath in, exhale back onto your heels. Breath into tabletop. Breath out, lower the pelvis down. Lift the crown of the head up. And breath in and exhale back onto your heels. Okay, tucking your toes in, lift up into downward dog. And then walking the feet to the top of the mat. So a bent knee forward bend. Allow the arms to dangle. Chin tucks in, pull the belly in, roll slowly up to standing. Breath in, the arms up nice and wide. Lean into your right leg as you float the left knee up. And breath out, hands and foot to the floor. Breath in, weight transfers to the other leg as the right knee comes up with the arms. And breath out, down. Shuffling your way to the middle of your mat. Hands on your hips. Take your feet nice and wide. Breath in, 5-pointed star. Palms come together. Breath out, glide in squat. Breath in, lift up. And breathe out. Breath in. And down. Hold here. Shallow pulses with a breath. Inhale, lift up. Exhale into the hips. Breath in, lift up. Okay, from here, we're going to turn our left foot in and our right foot comes in line with the mat. Bend our right knee. Take the hips down a little bit and then bring the arms down shoulder height. Look over the middle finger of your right hand. This is warrior 2, okay? So just find this position here. Just bringing your torso, if you can, straight up. Try not to lean forwards, straight up. And then allowing the fingers to stretch as far apart as you can, okay? Turn the front palm up, breath in, lift up. You can take the other arm into the small of the back, or you can take it down the leg. Breath out, warrior. Breath in, lift up. And breath out, warrior. And one more. Warrior. Lean forwards. Rest your forearm on your thigh. Bring that arm forwards. Take a couple of breaths here. Breath in here. On the exhale, float that left arm down. As it comes vertically down, inhale it all the way up and forwards. Exhale down. Inhale up and forwards. Take a breath here, reaching up with the fingers and breath out. On an inhale, come upright and windmill the hands so you come back into that reverse warrior. Any variation with the hand and breath out, warrior. Breath in, turn your feet at 45 degrees, lift up into 5-point. Breath out, glide in squat. Breath in, lift up. And then turn your feet the other direction for warrior 2 as you bend the knees and float into warrior 2, keeping the torso upright, arms shoulder height, palms face down. Look over the middle finger of your left hand. And take a couple of breaths here, establishing the foundation, the grounding, making any adjustments to find some stability here. Turn the front palm up. Inhale, come into a reversed warrior. So the hand can come down the back of the leg or into the small of the back. Exhale, warrior. Inhale. And exhale. Just a little bit of repetition to get familiar with these movements. They feature quite a lot in vinyasa flows. And then come back to warrior 2, forearm on the thigh, and draw that arm over for side angle and reach up, lengthening through the body here. A breath in here. On an exhale, inhale it all the way up and around. And exhale. Inhale all the way up and around. And take a couple of breaths here. And then inhale to 5-point, pivot on your feet. Exhale, gliding squat. Inhale to 5-point. We'll go to warrior 2 onto the first side now. So pivot on your heels, bend your knees, float your hands down. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, lifting the back heel as you breathe out. Take the hands all the way down to the floor, either side of that front foot. And inhale, back to plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, lift through and up into cobra. Breath out to the floor. Breath in up onto your knees. Tuck your toes in and breath out into downward dog. Breath in, lift the right leg nice and high, 3-legged dog. Come up onto the toes of the right foot. If you can breathe out and step your right foot forward between the hands, have a go. But if it takes a couple of breaths, that's okay. Okay, from this low lunge position, we're going to rotate that left heel down to the floor. On a slow breath in, sweep the left arm forwards and windmill all the way back to warrior 2. Exhale, bend the front knee, float the hands down. Inhale, reverse warrior, like we've just done. Lift up. And on the exhale, come through to side angle, forearm on the thigh. Inhale for length through the side of the body here, reaching up with the fingers. Exhale the hand down. Inhale it behind us and up. Exhale it down, gliding it through. Inhaling it up and hold. And another couple of breaths here. And when you're ready for a big inhale, lift the whole body up, 5-point, pivot on your feet, arms up nice and wide. Exhale, glide in squat. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, down. Inhale, lift up. On the exhale, take the arms down, shoulder height, push the palms away into horse pose, really pushing the palms of the hands away, really feeling active in this pose, pulling the knees back. Nice and static, but breathing slowly. Inhale, 5-point. Okay, warrior 2 to the other side, so pivot on your feet. Inhale, exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, the arms nice and long. Exhale, drop in. Turn the front palm up. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, side angle. Inhale here for length through the side of the body. Exhale, a couple of revolutions. Inhale up and exhale. Inhale up. On the next exhale, lift that back heel, float the hands down either side of that front foot into a low lunge. Inhale back to plank on this side. Exhale to the floor. Knees, chest, chin. Pull back on the palms of the hands. Inhale through and up into cobra. Exhale to the floor. Good. Inhale up onto your knees. Tuck your toes in. Exhale into downward dog. Inhale the left leg nice and high. Come up onto the toes of the right foot to give yourself a little bit of height. If you can, exhale that left foot forward between the hands for a lunge position. Take your time to get here. And then ground that back heel down, moving the feet as much as you need to find that comfortable stability here. On an inhale, sweep the right arm forwards and up and find warrior two. Okay, a breath in here to establish the posture. And the next breath in, inhale, lift up, reverse warrior. Exhale, side angle. Inhale for length. Exhale down. Inhale, sweep up and around. Exhale, bend through the front knee. Inhale, lift up 5 points. Exhale, glide in squat. Inhale, 5 points. Exhale, warrior two to the other side. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, side angle. Inhale for height. Exhale, sweep down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lift that back heel, float down to low lunge. Inhale, back to plank, shoulders on wrists. Exhale to the floor. Tops of the feet on the floor. Inhale into cobra. Exhale down. Inhale up onto your knees, taking your knees out to the edges of the mat. Exhale into child. Reach the fingers to the top of the mat. Inhale, belly to the floor. Breathe into your bottom of your lungs. Exhale, draw up your pelvic floor. Sit into the hips. Inhale, belly breath. Exhale, release. And then slowly come up. And that's quite a nice vinyasa flow because it incorporates sun salutations, which is forward back sagittal movement of the body where the joints don't get much opening. But when we then go on to the side to side stuff with the warriors, the joints are opening and we can work the posterior muscles as well. So you can see how you can transition from a sun salutation to warriors, and that's really as easy as it is and as complicated as it needs to be. And then once you get used to the flowing movements, get used to the breath, it doesn't come naturally straight away, but it will come, and you don't have to stick to that breath pattern. You can work with any breath pattern you want, but the key is use the breath to drive the movement, use the movement to go for the duration of the breath. And then you're getting into the realms of mindful movement. And you will find that once you start inventing and experimenting and innovating and bringing your own stuff together, you get some really nice flows, and you can just try whatever you want. So I hope that was of help, of interest, and you could go along with it. And by all means, take a look at some of the other videos on the channel. I'm going to be posting more up anyway. And you can just do a vinyasa practice. You don't have to do any static holds in your practice. It's your yoga. You do with it what you want. You get out of it what you want. And if vinyasa, if flowing movement is enough for you, then that's fine. Thanks very much for watching. Stay safe. Bye-bye.